and then we'll end with homework, not the daunting stuff that you would have received in school, but something that helps you prepare and plan for this endeavor that you are embarking on with us through Keen. So it will be more reflective and insightful in that you're going to start to jot down where you plan to, be and how you plan to accomplish that. We're also going to, Kemba, maybe if we can go on, we're going to, sort of wrap up with what else we'll cover in the 12 sessions. So for this session, what we're asking of you is, and I can see that many of you have already done the first one, is to be in a space where you are free of distractions. Ideally, have your phone away from you, or not maybe using it during this time. Be comfortable. So sitting somewhere where you can be comfortable, maybe somewhere where you can also write, so that if you have a pad and paper, if you don't, you might want to get one to jot down a few things. We ask you to respect.
Give an exception to the drivers.
Sorry?
You have to be
Well, the drivers, just make sure you're not focusing on the screen right now, mostly listening to us rather. We know that you're usually, it's a tough time, right? Sometimes some of us are coming home from work, some of us are en route to our destination. So just don't focus on the screen, focus on the road. Respect the space of each other tonight, because we are going to be sharing our own personal experiences in those small groups. And so when we say that, we mean, instead of providing criticism or even taking what you've learned or heard about someone here outside of the group, we expect that you keep it within the group and you use it to help you in ways, and to, if you're providing any type of feedback, if the opportunity presents itself, make it positive and constructive, so that we can all learn from each other. Make sure if you have questions, like we always encourage you, type it in the chat box and take some notes. There's nothing that I've done over the years that I didn't take notes on. I always try my very best to have something, whether it's my phone, I'm jotting down notes, or I'm making notes in my notebook, to something that I can reflect on and go back to and read over. Make sure that you're enjoying the session. Real estate is fun. Maybe not all the little intricacies of it, but in general, what we do, and that experience is exciting. Making a big purchase and building wealth is definitely a fun learning experience. So we're just asking you to enjoy the evening and to take as much notes as possible. So let's begin.
Okay.
When our slides are willing to cooperate. So if you've been thinking about it already, I'm sure that when I said what is mindset, or why, the topic, or that the topic is mindset, that you already started thinking of some ideas of what you felt mindset means to you. But let's look at why it's important. And, we're talking about why a positive or the right mindset is important to you and all of us. It allows us to continually learn and develop and build ourselves, who we are as a person, how we, respond to life scenarios, and what we achieve, right? So the more positive and the more willing you are to learn, the more successful you can be, and the more likely you will accomplish and achieve your goals. It's also important to have the right mindset, so that you can take a problem solving approach to every life experiences, especially when you endure challenging times, which we all do. I would say that maybe today wasn't so much of a challenge, but on some days I feel like, not this again, like there's one more challenge or a difficult experience to overcome. And so it's really important that we have a problem solver, or a problem solving mindset to those challenges and difficulties that we endure. That type of mindset will allow us to persevere and be successful, right? And even sometimes walk away from an experience learning, rather than feeling defeated or that we've lost. So it's important to take calculated risks, because I do believe that it's fair to say that real estate does entail risk. And we're never telling you to do it without research, without education and knowledge. We're asking you to do that. And you're choosing to do that by educating yourself first. As you learn, then you can make better decisions. And then you reduce the risks, right? So it's important when we face adversity that we know to push forward and that we can overcome that difficulty or that challenging experience, you know, whether it's something at work or something at school or just in our personal lives at home. Here are four pillars to keep in mind in developing that mindset. One is to visualize. And I know, Tanisha, for example, that you use this with your athletes. And I think it's an excellent place to use it when you're working with athletes that are high performance, you know, having to I guess, do very difficult and challenging skills. It's really important that they can visualize themselves successfully completing that skill or, you know, being successful in that life goal or experience. I think it's very important. Earlier this week, I said to Kemba, I'm going to pray on this. I'm going to make sure that, you know, I spend some time each day praying on it. And that prayer is like visualizing. It allowed, right, Kemba? It's fair to say it allowed very successful experiences in the last few days in our real estate in our real estate holdings. So I think that it's really powerful that you can visualize the success that you plan to achieve this year or in the upcoming months as you begin your real estate endeavor. We also ask you to evaluate because as much as you know you are visualizing success, it's fair to say that along the way to success that there is difficulty and challenges, and if we don't step back and reevaluate or look at what has happened, we may sometimes get lost and consumed by the experience and forget that, you know, oh yeah, I did, that was, you know, a successful moment, or you know what, I can take this away from this experience so that next time I know how to deal with that situation. So it's really important that you learn to evaluate the experience, plan, and produce. Planning is essential. We're going to talk about that. That's our next topic next week. But it's always important to plan every experience you do it, whether you're planning, you know, to pass your driver's test or your trip that you want to go on. And most importantly, at the end, respect the community and the network that you can build, because that there's so much value in that. They often can help bounce. They're there to bounce ideas off. They're there to help you when you feel like you've fallen and you can't get back up. They can help motivate and inspire you. And so, the network that we're building here even is an important aspect of having the right mindset, because when you're down, we will definitely be up and be able to pull you forward so that you can get through that scenario or situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to share with you, because we're not the only experts on mindset. Myself and Kemba included have always leaned to the experts to help us develop and understand what we mean by having the right mindset, specifically a growth mindset. And so here's Carol Dweck, and we're going to listen for 4 minutes approximately.
Power of yet. I heard about a high school in Chicago where students had to pass a certain number of courses to graduate. And if they didn't pass a course, they got the grade not yet. And I thought that was fantastic, because if you get a failing grade, you think, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere. But if you get the grade not yet, you understand that you're on a learning curve. It gives you a path into the future. Not yet also gave me insight into a critical event early in my career, a real turning point. I wanted to see how children coped with challenge and difficulty. So I gave 10-year-olds problems that were slightly too hard for them. Some of them reacted in a shockingly positive way. They said things like, I love a challenge. Or, you know, I was hoping this would be informative. They understood that their abilities could be developed. They had what I call a growth mindset. But other students felt it was tragic, catastrophic. From their more fixed mindset perspective, their intelligence had been up for judgment and they failed. Instead of luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now. So what do they do next? I'll tell you what they do next. In one study, they told us they would probably cheat the next time instead of studying more if they failed a test. In another study, after a failure, they looked for someone who did worse than they did so they could feel really good about themselves. And in study after study, they have run from difficulty. Scientists measured the electrical activity from the brain as students confronted an error. On the left, you see the fixed mindset students. There's hardly any activity. They run from the error. They don't engage with it. But on the right, you have the students with the growth mindset, the idea that abilities can be developed. They engage deeply. Their brain is on fire with yet. They engage deeply. They process the error. They learn from it and they correct it. How are we raising our children? Are we raising them for now instead of yet? Are we raising kids who are obsessed with getting A's? Are we raising kids who don't know how to dream big dreams? Their biggest goal is getting the next A or the next test score? And are they carrying this need for constant validation with them into their future lives? Maybe because employers are coming to me and saying, we have already raised a generation of young workers who can't get through the day without an award. So, what can we do? How can we build that bridge to?
That's it, Kemba.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that perspective, right? Not yet. And my experience of the power of yet was, I don't know if some of you know, but I was a former school teacher in the primary school grades. And, I taught in a fairly challenging neighborhood, and I felt it was, in general, children don't like red marks all over their work, and they don't like X's beside their work. So I've never, from the time I started teaching back in the 90s till when I stopped here in the 2000s, I never put an X beside a child's work. I always circled it, and I taught them what it meant. I would put LO, which they knew meant a learning opportunity. And I felt like it was such a better way to embrace that learning is that, she said, it's on a curve. Like it's not that, and not to teach them just to work to the A or work to that next grade level. It was really so that they could understand that making mistakes is all a part of learning, and you can still be successful. And you didn't have to have your paper ruined. They hate when you ruin their papers. So Kemba. Kemba's going to, were you going to share, or is that my experience of you were going to share just your example for the breakout room?
Oh, of just the mindset and
yeah,
my triplex example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a long time ago, and some people on this call know me from back then. I bought a triplex with my cousin, and at the time I was thinking, wow, I should really do real estate as a business, but I think at the time I didn't have the growth mindset. I was sort of fixed in the fact that I had a full-time job, I was busy, and I didn't come to the place where I felt comfortable and brave enough to just do it. But I think back to that time when I was younger, I didn't have kids. There was so many bonuses that if I had taken on that challenge at that time, I think I would be even like light years ahead of where I am now. But I wasn't in that mindset to say that I could do it. I didn't believe that I could do it. Now I believe that I can do it, and I'm doing it. But sometimes we're not in the place where we need to be. And the growth mindset, if I had it back then, I think would have just helped me move forward a lot quicker. And so it's just to share that, you know, we're in different places in our mindset, but if we work on it and we recognize that if we can sort of believe in ourselves, it will, our goals and our aspirations will come true, you know, because we have a better perspective on our ability to do it, and we're more open to take on challenges.
So now the activity.
So we're going to break up into some rooms so we can have a quick discussion. Marcia, you can maybe get the rooms going.
Okay.
Andrea, did you want to describe the rooms?
Yeah, so in each room, we're going into 2 rooms. In one room, Kemba will have one group that will be discussing what their mindset story is and how they deal with challenges. We're splitting the rooms according to those of you that have already started investing and those of you that haven't started investing as yet, meaning that you may already have your first purchase, but you're looking to acquire a rental, or you haven't acquired either a rental or your first purchase. And in those rooms, we're giving each person an opportunity to speak a 2-minute or less sharing of what your mindset story is and how you deal with challenges. And I do think it's fair to say that in different scenarios or different parts of our lives, we've all been through both types of mindset, and maybe even sometimes daily, depending on what you do for work. So we're going to ask that we do that now. And Kemba, you will act as the moderator in your group, and I'll act as the moderator in my group, meaning that we will time you and we will say your time is up, and then the next person speaks, so that each of us get a chance to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're ready.
Marcia is making.
So if you see, you should see on your screen that you have to join the group, and just click on it.
Marcia, you getting through?
It's you is the one. You couldn't join?
I'm gonna see. Oh. I join breakout room. Marcia?
Yeah.
Okay, so I should be in one of the rooms.
Yeah, but I put you, actually it's, you are in the wrong room because your name and Andrea is the same, so I changed it. You should be in the other one. Okay, go there. But you need to join.
Okay, I don't see the join request yet.
And I changed it, Andrea. I don't know what happened. Maybe because you are the host.
Not letting me join the breakout room. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and see if that helps. Oh, once I stop sharing.
Okay.